According to Mr. Linga, who works in XYZ company, the impacts of COVID-19 on the organization is negative. The revenue quarterly of the organization had decreased due to the lower sales during the pandemic. The issue faced by the human resource department of the company is the lack of employees. At the beginning of COVID-19, some employees were tested positive in the COVID-19 swab test. Some of the positions in the company were vacant since the employees who tested positive in the swab test received treatment in the hospital. After 3 to 4 months, the company needs to design a new strategy to make the workforce become more flexible. They made the employees become more agile and try to assign the remaining employees to support other functions in the company.
Next, I will explain about the impact of COVID-19 to employees of XYZ company. Based on the interview, Mr. Linga said that during the period of MCO, the worker felt a bit panicked because that time MCO was conducted quite tight. However, the situation is under control because they was allowed to work remotely from home. According to Mr. Linga, company divided employee to 3 parts, which is critical, core and supportive part. Critical part is employee who need to go to office to make sure the production runs smoothly. The core part is the employee who don't really often come to office because they need to do all tasks remotely just from home. Regarding the interview session, Mr. Linga also said that working remotely is quite challenging because employees need to understand the job and tasks that they need to complete. It becomes more challenging because employee cannot run from responsibility and activity at home, especially for married person. The management has set grade A, B, C, and D as a mark for employee performance. However, it found that majority of them got grade C because it is difficult to identify employees' performance when they need to go work from home. However, Mr. Linga said that even though it is difficult to work from home, but all employees happy to work because no layoff and companies still run their operation as usual. It seems that even the employee performance is quite low after MCO, but it still can be managed since they show a better performance day by day. Overall, employee performance in 2020 is negative, maybe because they still shocked to adapt new things. But in 2021, their performance starting to go positive.
So, I will continue to initiative or strategies taken by XYZ company. Firstly, is changing working mode. What does it mean about this? In this point, XYZ company divided the employees into 3 teams. The first one is critical teams. Critical teams is the member or employees that need to come to the office to make sure that office can run their production greatly. The second one is core team. Core team is the people or the employee that that able or can do their work from home, which is work from home. For example, like the human resource development, HR department, and other than that, like finance team, they do not need to come to the office, and also they can do their office task in their home. The third one is supporting team. Like Mr. Linger said, the supporting teams is the people or the employee that need to support the critical team, but not every time they need to come to the office, which is like in 1 week they can just come to the office only 2 days or 3 days. Moreover, Mr. Lingard said about in that position, in his position, which is the manager of human resource development, he has already working from home since in 2020, since the pandemic happened in Indonesia. So starting from the firstly pandemic found in Indonesia, Mr. Linggar and his team has already joined has already conducted the working from home mode. So the second one is maintaining the employee motivation. What does it mean about this? In this point, the XYZ company has already mentioned before that want to make sure that every single people or the employee need to be motivated to make sure that they can did well or perform well on their task. For example, for the critical teams or the employees that need to come to the office, XYZ company make sure that every single supporting system, like for instance healthcare, they provide healthcare, and after that increase the number of wastafel, give the employees with the glove, free mask, and the others. So they will, the employees, especially for the critical team, will feel like, okay, I don't need to stress too much because my company has already provided me like a prevention to make sure that I can still working at the office, and the facilities has already followed the protocol COVID-19. The second one, like I mentioned in here about the online seminar, so it will point to for the core team or the employees that do not need to come to the office or working from home. So like we know that even though we work at home, it doesn't mean that we have some beneficial from it. Yes, also yes, but at the other side, we can face some problem, and in here XYZ company provide online seminar. For instance, Mr. Lingers mentioned about the training and stress management seminar, and also a parenting. The interesting one is the parenting one, because I just know from the XYZ company that XYZ company really care about their stress of their employees. That's why they provide the parenting seminar to make sure that although their employees working from home and conducting the task while they care of their kids, but they can still handle it, which is can combine it together in one time to make sure that they can reduce the stress about about parenting and also finishing their employee tasks. And the last one is about the adjusting the target performance, so that in the detail of Mr. Linger said that yeah, we know that XYZ company got that decline in early of pandemic in Indonesia, which is on March. That's why they know on the June or July during the mid-year review that XYZ company think like, okay, we know that we have some problem, so we need to adjust the target to make sure that every single person or every single employees in that office can reach the target.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. So next, I will talk about the challenges. From this group project, we found that there are few main challenges that face better company in handling their employees and also sustaining the business at the same time during the COVID-19 outbreak. It is because they have to adapt with new situation where employees have to work from home. So here are the two main challenges that the organization face. The first is to keep employees performing well and motivated to do their job excellently during the pandemic. To keep employees engaged and capable of performing their jobs, a company must implement a suitable approach that is related to employees' job mode. For example, if employees is asked to work from home, they will require a different approach than employees who work at the office. This is because employees who work from home must perform their work and thus must deal with COVID-19 as well as their personal matters such as parenting and also schooling children. Meanwhile, employees who work at the office may expose to the COVID-19 infection at the workplace. So that's why they need a different and specific approach. If a company implement the best approach for each employees, they will feel engaged, motivated, and ultimately their overall performance will improve. Then we move to the second challenge, which is a company must deal with enormous changes in its business goal in order to confront the pandemic situation and ensure that the employees are capable of performing well in tasks to meet the goals. The company may have set their organization goals for the year of 2020, but the outbreak of COVID-19 forced them to reconsider it. So this complex situation eventually bring a dilemma among managers as to whether to attach with the original plan that have been formed earlier or to consider the employees' abilities during this tough period of COVID-19. The changes of the plan or goal may difficult and challenging, but it must be done to ensure that employees' performance and productivity remain high. So that's all from me. Thank you.
For the employee performance appraisal during COVID-19, our team was interested to know whether XYZ company still continue with the employees' performance or not. So, we got the information from the interview with Mr. Lingard, which he said there is no changes in the implementation of performance appraisal. At first of the occurrence of COVID-19, XYZ company does not reduce the target for the performance, but unfortunately, employees fail to achieve the set target not because of they do not work hard or incompetent, but due the pandemic situation that limit the production. Apart from that, some employees are required to work from home, where they need to adapt with the new of working arrangement. Therefore, the management has decided to relook at the target for 2021. Mr. Linga also said that now the employees have learned to adapt with the situation and their work performance has improved.
The lessons learned by the organization from the occurrence of COVID-19 were they need to improve their technical aspect, employee engagement, and also the talent management. Digital transformation was an important criterion for working remotely. Human resource activities such as recruitment, training and development, and also the human resource planning need to be conducted online during the pandemic. The employee engagement was important to improve the company performance. When the engagement was raised, the human resource performance became better and the productivity would also improve. Besides, talent management was essential to maintain the good operation of the company. Based on the talent management strategy of XYZ company during the pandemic, the replacement of the employees to the deficiency position would help the operation of the department to keep running and decrease the impacts of the pandemic to the organization to the minimum level. Even after the pandemic, the company still could benefit from this talent management strategy because most of the employees were provided a variety of skills and knowledge by the company.